Hello everyone. Oh, hello everyone. Welcome back to White Knuckle. I am continuing the series on clearing every room of White Knuckle. I'm just going to be covering Waste Heap and Pipe Organ today. Waste Heap can kind of be characterized by a lot of very small item probabilities on the ground and a lot of blood bugs, as you can see, and a lot of different ways you can clear the rooms. But there are definitely some better ways than other ways. Yeah, and then Pipe Organ is mostly characterized by close quarters and low stamina. Anyway, let's just hop right into it. So I mean, you can see how on Waste Heap specifically, a lot of the item spawns are kind of bugged. I mean, you can see here, a lot of these items will flat out just spawn under the ground. And also in another room, I'll share more about that. Not super relevant, but just interesting trivia, I guess. Anyway, onto this first room. So, in this room, there are a couple of low chance, high tier item spawns. However, I don't really think it's worth going for them, with the exception being this injector right here, which also is quite near this rebar explosive here. What you can do going into this room is I'll just grab some rebar, but if you just save some rebar while you are playing silos or whatever, you won't need to prey on the chance of getting the rebar from the ground. Anyway, so if you climb onto this platform here, you can use the rebar jumps to go just directly there, and then you can check for this injector. However, what I prefer to do is to do a double rebar jump from here up to this part here. I don't think it's worth the extra maybe 8 seconds to get a 1 in 8 chance for an injector. I don't think the math works out there. And you can make this jump. I'll just show it with some more rebar. Alright, I found the rebar. I'm just going to show the jump. Yeah, just like that. And once you're on this little balcony thing right here, what you're going to want to do is you want to go up to these handholds. And I guess I'll just show that. When you're going off of this platform directly up to here, it's good if you maybe go directly to these ones and you're just right here. And then you can just climb like this. And you want to actually grab this little thingy right here. And from here, you can either jump onto one of the what are these called? Blood bags or whatever? Gas bags, yes. So you can either go directly onto a gas bag if they're in the right spot, like this. If they're not in the right spot, however, or it's very risky to do that jump, what you can instead do is from here, you can go onto one of these platforms and then onto the gas bag. It depends on just how much risk you want to do. I think this does work, but it's just, I'm not very comfortable doing that, so I usually just go onto one of the platforms and then jump onto it. Another alternative thing you can do is from the platform, just take the handholds, and then you get to the end of the room. These sections right here are just not very complex climbing, so I don't really have much to say about them. Alright, now I'm just gonna show a full run of Waste 1. So you just go up here, grab some rebar, do a little jump like this, then from here, go up like this. Pretend that launched me up. For some reason with the mod, it's disables the denizens from actually doing anything. Except barnacles for some reason, they're just unaffected, but gas bags and blood bugs are affected. Yeah, from here, you just climb, and you're at the end. Alright. Now onto Waste 2. So this one, you've also got a bunch of chances at rebar and rubble. There's also a little roach hotspot here, so it's good to be mindful. It could be a white roach. Anyway, what you're going to want to do here is hopefully you have a rebar saved up, which is quite nice. Usually this blood bug will see you, and sometimes you can just use a brick on it. Alternatively, just hammer it in. Hopefully you, if you let it get close, you can just hammer it directly into the wall so it doesn't get away from you. What you want to do here is, if you do have a rebar, you can just make this jump right here, and then go here and grab this 2 and 3 chance of an injector. However, I think that you can actually make this jump with just 2 bricks. I'm going to try to show that. Alright, here with my 2 bricks. You can make it. I'm not sure if you can make it with a single brick. I think if you do a dino jump off of this and then throw the brick, you might be able to make it. That seems a bit too difficult though to have like a consistent thing. Best thing to do is just to have a rebar saved up. Maybe if you look at the ground, you grab one to make this jump with. Or you can also just, from the ground here, use a baton on the wall to get there. But it's a lot slower to use a baton. So best case, use a rebar. Alternatively, if you find 2 bricks, you can also make the jump. Anyway, so from here, after you grab your injector, you follow these handholds, and you can see here that there's 2 little grub spawns here, about a 60% chance in total. If either of them do spawn, I think from this handhold, you go down, then you grab your grubs, and then you can go up here where you can check the pill bottles, and then you can jump to here and get to the end. However, if the grubs do not spawn, then what you might want to do is might go up to like here and then go here, check for the pill bottle, and then continue going up. Okay, I'm really messing up no clip. For some reason, sometimes when I disable no clip, it will just like send me down really quickly. I do not know what's up with that. Anyway, that's pretty much it. If you don't really have any value for a pill bottle, you might just and there's also no grubs, you might just completely ignore it, but I think it's usually worth grabbing the pill bottle. Yeah, from here, just regular old climbing. Oh yeah, I gotta show the full run. Alright, so now for the full run. So, just go to this ladder, grab your rebar, go here, collect your injector, keep going up the ladder, follow these, grab your grubs, go up here, you grab your pill bottle, eat the food, whatever. Pretend I hit that jump. Then do a little dino jump off of that one, and then from here you can just do that. I'm actually going to turn on God mode before I die, because I tried recording this but earlier and I actually died to one of the barnacles, which was pretty embarrassing. Anyway, and then from here, you can pretty much do whatever you want for these sections here. I don't really have much to say, it's just like climb them, nothing complex about them. Anyway, on to waste number 3. So for this one, you also have these item spawns or whatever. This rebar here is actually guaranteed, and it's also kind of within the path, so you can kind of just like grab that. And then when you're going here, you have these handholds right here, which have like a 2 and 3 chance of spawning. If they do spawn, you can go here and grab the grub, which has about a 40% chance of spawning. If it doesn't spawn, it's fine, you continue the same route. And then, yeah, if these do not spawn, what you can do is you can just follow this and then check behind you and then grab them if it does. Either way, you're going to end up here, and then you can see whether or not this injector there spawns. Without Fulbright, it's actually a bit easier to see whether or not it spawns if you have the high visibility items enabled. So from here you can check whether or not this injector spawns. If it does spawn, which is about a 1 in 3 chance, then you can go up here. And if it doesn't spawn, and you're from this spot, you see it doesn't spawn, then you can just go up here and go like this. Either way, you're going to end up here, and then either you can jump on this gas bag if it's in a good position. If it's not in a good position, you can just go like this, and then you're at the top. from here you can just do whatever. And onto Wasteful. So for this room, there's a lot of stuff that's here to distract you, and a lot of different ways you could go about it. But kind of when you're speedrunning, things kind of get limited. Anyway, so when you walk in, you can kind of see this tree, right? And inside of it, there's actually a bunch of items that can spawn. The grub's at 4%, and the injector's at 10%, and the vending machine's at 15%. So none of these chances are very high, but considering how quick it is to just like go here, run at the tree, crouch, and just like check all the spawns, I think it's worth it. So it depends on how much you want to high roll versus be consistent. So you can choose whether or not you want to do this low strat or not. Anyway, so then from this spot, you want to go onto this high platform here. You can use a rubble if there's any, just anything near you, but you don't need to care about it. From here, you just climb like this, then you continue going up, and then if there's the barnacle here and it has a tentacle extended, you can use that to skip the ending, which is quite nice. However, especially in normal mode, it's pretty rare that that happens. So then you want to just like, go to this platform, grab this handhold, and grab this rebar, get to the end, and then here you just do whatever. That's pretty much it for the room. Yeah, so another thing to say is more of a trivia than anything else, but I found there's actually a pill bottle spawn with 2 foods out here. I'm pretty sure those are supposed to spawn here, but for whatever reason, they're just out here. I checked even without my mods. These items just spawn out here for some reason. Weird stuff. I don't know why. It would be very nice if there were more stamina items here. Yeah, I guess hopefully they just fix that. Seems like a pretty easy fix as well. But you can ignore that when playing the game, at least for now, but I guess it's nice to know that, or good to know, that this is likely to change. Yeah, so then from here, do this. You can actually grab this section right here. I'll turn on a little thing. So you can actually grab this entire edge right here. So you do not have to grab the barnacle once you're done. You can actually, okay, look. When it's tentacling. Alright, nothing I was really saying that mattered anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the room. On to Waste 5. So this is the newest room to Waste Heap. What you want to do here is you want to make sure that you see this room right here, because there's a vending machine with a chance to spawn. And there's also a 50% chance at a grub, as well as a chance of an explosive rebar. I feel like they have an intention here, but the chances of these things spawning are just like so small. So, seems like a weird design. Anyway, so when walking into this room, what you want to do is you gotta run up until you can kind of just check whether or not this grub spawns. If it does spawn, you run in. If it doesn't, then you just immediately go up. And then from here, you can go up here. This only has a 4% chance at spawning. I don't know why some of the chances are like so low. Like, that's never gonna happen. You can grab it if it does spawn, however. But then from here, you're gonna want to go towards these plants. And yeah, I'm messing up the jump. The plants have super weird hitboxes. And then you're gonna go towards these rebar here and up there. What you can do is from here, if you have like any good items, I'm gonna just check right now if a single rebar jump can do it. It can. So if you have like just a rebar saved up, it's a nice little skip here to just directly skip this level instead of, you know, going all the way to these plants and then doing some really annoying jumps. Yeah, this is a good rebar spot. This rebar right here is guaranteed, so I'd recommend just taking it. Okay, I'm messing the parkour up real hard right now. From here, you can get to this spot From here you can check whether or not this 10% chance of an injector happens. If it does, you can just go over. There's a handhold here and you can stand on it and everything, so it's pretty easy to just go for. If it doesn't spawn, however, then you just go to this side. You can grab this pill bottle, it's at a 40% chance. And then you can just go to the end. And on to organ. I'm actually going to grab some food here because it's very easy to run out of stamina. Be back. Alright, I'm back with some beans that I collected from the start. Probably could have just spawned them in. Anyway, organ, there aren't that many special routes and skips for this section, and there's almost no item spawns, but there are some things I can say. This section is mostly just how well you can use stamina items and just general climbing ability rather than knowing routes, but there are still some good routes to know. I'm pretty much just going to give example routes here rather than much information because frankly there isn't that much to say. Also, I hate this region, so I'm not very motivated to say much. It's a good skill to have here to be able to crunchy climb. I'm actually gonna just spawn in some beans because these beans show the probability and that's annoying. Alright, got me some beans. Alright. Yeah, this section's generally just this. This one I do have a route for, so when I go up here, then you go to this side. And then from here, you'll kind of climb this part diagonally. Then you get to this spot. From here, you can check whether or not any of these grubs spawn. If so, you just like climb down there, grab them, go back up. You can also check whether or not this rebar spawns. Right here has a 35% chance at spawning. There's also a 20% chance at an explosive rebar here. And whatever you want to do, you get back to this spot and then you just wait for the steam to stop and then you go up here. Through the tunnels like this, something to know is that you don't actually need to be holding a handhold to jump. So you can actually get through these pretty much without using any stamina. I don't think it's worth it to go through without using stamina, but it's good to know. Even when you are using stamina, if you like just miss a handhold or something, you can still just like spam jump the whole time. Anyway, organ 3 again, you just like take these handholds, you go up. The ground when it stops letting you run is like super weird, but you can see like sometimes you can just like flat out run through this whole section. But yeah, very, very inconsistent. Rather just take the handholds here. It's like that. I'll cover the secret that spawns here later. Personally don't think it's worth it, but still worth covering. Alright, go through this tunnel. And then here, there is a chance at a grub here. Personally, I think that the chance is too low for it to be worth going for. But it's like a 4-second time loss to check for the grub. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it, but you can if you want. What I do for this room is you see that there's this little thing right here, and what you can do is you can go up to this handhold. If this one doesn't spawn, which there is a 16% chance of happening, you can still make this jump just to the vent here directly, so it's not like it's not dependent on the rebar spawning. It's just nice. Then you just want to go through this section. I know it like seems like it's difficult, but like if you just jump immediately after grabbing the handhold, there's no time for the steam to knock you off or the blood bug to knock you off. So despite there being a blood bug and a steam thing and a big fall, it's actually a pretty safe section if you're just decent. Instead of going through this hole already, what you want to do first is you want to check for this injector, which has like a 50% chance of spawning. It takes like 3 seconds to check, definitely worth it. Then you go through this hole. Yeah, so through here, usually you just like go up and you continue, but you can also actually drop down, and then you can see a guaranteed injector, pill bottle, explosive rebar, regular rebar rope. You can grab those and you can run up. I personally don't think it's worth it because it just takes too long to grab all that stuff. It's like a 20-second, well, if you got good at it, it's probably like a 14-second sacrifice to get those items. I could see it being worth it, but I don't think it's worth it. At least not when you're playing in normal mode. In Iron Knuckle mode, and you like don't have any items, it could be worth it though. Anyway, this room. Okay, for a second I saw something new, but it's fine. So for this room, there is the secret room. I will be showing how to get to this one. It is part of the run. Anyway, so from the hole, you just want to go up the ladder, and then from here you want to grab off the door, climb all these batons. I like to just grab a guaranteed rebar when I see it. And from here, not from this side, but you're going to go around, and then here, you can go onto this, and then maybe you could just use the guaranteed rebar to go through, or just anything else that can let you make this jump. You can also make this jump without any items, however, I find it pretty difficult to do. I can't do it consistently. You can fall a lot of the time, you can not get enough speed. I don't think it's worth going for this jump without any items. But if you have like any buffs at all, it's not a particularly difficult jump to hit then. Anyway, so however you want to do it, you can get to here. An alternative thing you can do if you want to save the rebar is you can just like keep following the handholds, and then from here you can get there. I think it's better to just grab the rebar that they give you, do the jump from there, or just like actually throw the rebar here. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, I actually really like using rebar for rebar boosting now compared to before. A lot easier to hit jumps now that you can like hold the rebar and just release whenever you want. This room, 2 injector spawns, not just 1. Guaranteed pill bottle, gives you a rebar rope as well. Small chance at a grub, also gives a little hand scanner. Also vending machine, and a bunch of beans here that only have a chance for some reason. Anyway, what you want to do after this is you'll use the rebar rope in the room and you'll place it near this little pipe right here. And then from here, you can either go directly from here and then run to here, where you can actually just like skip going the full circle if you just have like 2 items. Let me check something real quick. Huh. Okay. So what I learned there is you can actually use like auto batons as well. So potentially you could run up to the wall, auto baton, then maybe just use like a regular baton here and make it to the end. So if you do see auto batons in the secret room, maybe you just want to use those to do this little skip right here. But if you don't do that skip, then you can just go around like this. And you're at the end. Over here. You just go up the red mesh at the start. And then you can go off with the light here to make this jump a little smoother, but you don't have to, you can also just do this. However, when you do it like this, you are a lot more vulnerable to this guy, Steam, and also it's just a bit less smooth. So I'd say after the second one, you go off with this one, make the jumping nicer. From here, you just go up the handholds, and then from here, you can actually go off of this light, and then off of these little things, get to the end. What people will usually do in this section is, yeah, after getting to here, they'll go to the other side, but this parkour is a bit annoying. And then there's also, you know, a whole run that you have to do. Just going off the light and doing this gets you there just a bit quicker. A good little tip for these sections is you can actually grab the rim itself. You don't need to grab the handholds. Bit of a trap there. This section, it's good to, after going for this, you go off of here and then you grab this directly. I don't think you can make this jump normally, but if you just do like a dino jump, you can pretty easily make it. Alternatively, you can take that route, but this route saves you a couple seconds for like a dino jump. Oh yeah, this is one of the rooms where you run out of stamina really easily because it's so cramped and there's a lot of tiny jumps you want to do. This section right here, I like to just grab onto this, wait for the steam to finish. Then you climb up here. I missed. From this part here, you just go to the opposite side. Then you change again. And then you're at the end. Oh. Alright, on to organ 7. Again, it's mostly just going off of handholds at the start. Actually, I think organ 7 doesn't really have anything special. Yeah, just go off of handholds. And then you just go off the ground, and then you can just run the rest of the way. Really annoying room, that one. I do not like it. Organ 8 starts off with just a bunch of handhold shenanigans, but then it leads to this part. And this part here, the trick is to go to the left. You can grab this little pipe right here, and then you can grab onto this top part here, and then you can just grab all these pipes, get to the top. Okay, then you can just like grab this handhold and run to the end. I'll show that last part a bit more fluidly, starting now. Yeah, and then you're at the end. This is the room they've added most recently. It's actually got a little sacrificing altar here. Can you sacrifice roaches? I don't think you can. Yeah. Misinformation over here. Anyway. Then you can go like this, and you can go here. This is wrong. The chance for this room, it is not 100%. For whatever reason, this room just doesn't really work with the probability mod I'm using, so I actually had to kind of collect some data myself. When I did the thing, I got about a 1 in 4 chance for an injector to spawn here, 1 in 4 chance of a grub to spawn here, 1 in 4 chance of a rewire explosive to spawn here. This is what it usually looks like when you don't have Fulbright on. It's pretty hard to miss these items when you're actually in the game. Anyway, what you want to do here, after you're grabbing whatever spawns here, you can do a little floor jump from there. Just grab the wall, grab the light. Here, you can wait for this to go if you want, but alternatively, you can just like grab this at the end, and then it's just regular climbing. I'm gonna probably not cover interlude. I think enough people have made videos on it. Don't think I need to add my own opinion. Alright, that's it. I don't really know what to say. Hopefully you learnt from this video. I'm gonna start finishing the series again. Took up a bit of a break when I just like randomly decided, hey, I'm gonna get that Iron Knuckle Chimney world record no matter what. So I got distracted for several weeks just grinding that stuff out, but at least I got some world records out of it. Yeah, I'm also gonna hopefully remake some of the earlier videos, which were just not very well made, and especially the very first video, which is unfortunately the most popular one as well. I really wish my chimney guide was the most popular video I made, because that one's like actually a good video. The first one was terrible, but fine. YouTube algorithm, do whatever you want. You know, F you, God. What else is there to say? Yeah, hopefully you learnt a bit. New guides maybe gonna come out next week. I don't know. Maybe even earlier. Peace. Oh yeah, like and subscribe, of course. Now peace.